applause, makes the salute. He's unrelenting in what he demands from his players. He would have had an interesting half-time team talk at West Ham.
A tremendous season this has been. It was fun, it was sad at times, it had its moments. I don't think it could have ended any differently. It went how we all expected it to, and it was fun. For a minute the scriptwriters were trying to give us this other ending, and I'm like, we like the one that's gonna happen. Anyways, if you have a predictions video I made 7 months ago or so, in that video I was spot on about who'd win, who'd come second, who'd come third. The only thing I got wrong was the top four race, because I thought Manchester United was good enough to get in the top four. I guess not, but we'll talk about it. So we have to talk about the champions. Congratulations to Manchester City. Despite what the title said, City deserved it. I wholeheartedly agree that there is no debate here. So if you're looking for a debate, exit. They had to fight for it. They had to fight for this title. They had to see it through to the end, like literally. And the video where I kept on talking about mentality, being too soft with themselves and not being able to take things seriously. Not in this. This is their competition. Of course, they would not see it go. And for a minute, I was like, wow, City have lost the title. But lo and behold, they won it. And a week ago, when Mahrez missed that penalty, before that, I was like, wow, is this the moment? Is this going to be the grand ending? And he missed. And it's like, okay, well, the celebrations are pushed back for a week anyways. That is Pep Guardiola. We can make fun and jokes about him not winning a Champions League outside of Barcelona and Messi. We can, run all these narratives, but what he's done in the Premier League, coming here with no experience, with his Prem-proven title on his back, he came and he obliterated the entire league. 4 league titles in 5 seasons is incredible. Is incredible, and he's manager behind Alex Ferguson with the most Premier League wins. So that says something in itself. Like, he is the man. We have to give him his tens, we have to give him his cues, and we have to make it be known that he is just that good. He's raised the bar of the competition. He has got other teams to try and compete, and they don't come near. And those who have come near in you have to be a level above. Jose Mourinho at Real Madrid, 100 points. Conte at Tottenham, at Chelsea, that was in the season that Manchester City were doing a transitional period. Klopp at Liverpool, that was the pandemic and things were themselves. So you have to go above and beyond. And in this title race, it's just the same because Liverpool lost out on a point to show you how insane Pep Guardiola is. The players had a great season. I know some people are upset about the EA Sports Player of the Year awards going to Foden and De Bruyne. I'm sorry, but this might be controversial, but they deserved it. They deserve it. Step away from the calculator, step away from the stats, and watch football, because I think the bigger picture is how influential you are to your team, how much you contribute to the team. We can argue that Foden hadn't been his best this season. We can argue that Kevin De Bruyne hadn't started that many games, but their contribution to the team. If you want to debate that, debate it, but I think they deserve it. Let them get their things. But yeah, I never had any doubts of City winning. As I said, again, go watch my predictions video. This was always their title to lose. This was always their title to win. It was always theirs, and it was just down to them if they were serious enough to let another team snatch it away from them, or if they were that determined to go back to back, and they were. Before the game, I was like, Pep, let's not do this thing where everybody blames you overthinking for your tactical errors. Let's not do that. Let's go and, seal this thing. It's a 10-year anniversary of the Aguero moment, and they had their Aguero 2.0 because it was a late comeback, which is incredible. So yeah, deserved title. Now Liverpool, I find it strange where people, they have this notion, oh, it's so sad that Liverpool didn't get to win a title because they've been so good and they've racked up 90 odd points that could win you a title back in the day. We're celebrating failure. They failed. It's a failure. You don't get trophies for coming second. You get money or whatever, but you don't get a trophy, you don't get accolades. So I can't sit here and say, congrats for coming second. No. Wasn't the conversation last season when Ole came second was that it's not an achievement, it's a position, right? So Liverpool's not gonna get that from me. Positive that I can say though is their team had a great season. I said it in the predictions video where if once everybody is on their feet and healthy and ready to go, Liverpool can in quotations can challenge, which they did put up a fight. So they're tied with the golden boot again. He's gonna always rack up the goals and assists. Man, the game player of the season, had an incredible season so far. Luis Diaz, who I continually will praise, had a great season, settled in just some months. Yes, some months. Everybody else who played their part, everybody who came on, everybody who were subbed, every one of the attackers played a role in this title race. The defense, Van Dijk coming in from his injury, seemingly not losing a step. Strikers and forwards are afraid to run at him, and he does this thing where it's intimidating, and that kept Liverpool at bay at times. Konate settling well into the team, Andy Robertson to Miskas. They were all amazing. It was an amazing season for them. Alisson winning the Golden Glove with Edison tied in. So yeah, best team, but still losers. It's not professional, but yeah, they had a great season. It was just, unfortunate, I guess, that they didn't win. Not my problem. People should stop coming up with excuses, paragraphs, explanations, and reasons why, and the fact that, Pep is good. Don't you think Jurgen Klopp deserves some criticism? They think he should be criticized for not challenging enough. And we can't say it's apples to oranges because Pep has the gigantic fund and Klopp doesn't, but I think Klopp deserves some criticism for losing title twice, 1 point. And this is me being biased, so no. Moving right along to Chelsea. Also, won't be celebrating failure because third place is not a trophy. I know it's a better finishing from last season, but what we gain? We're not in a title race. We're far off from Liverpool and City. I just don't have. I wrote this random fact that it's our highest tally since Maurizio Sarri's season. Okay, what does that mean? I don't get it. It doesn't do anything for me, and you can't. Chelsea has been dealing with injuries, COVID. The club was sanctioned. The club was broke for like 2.5 seconds. A lot was happening. Lukaku's interview. The club was in turmoil. I can give them that, and they managed to, not doing glowy and not, find themselves in a worse position. But it's still disappointing. It's still disappointing coming third with the expectations that were put on the season. And as a Chelsea fan, I had no expectations going in. Again, go watch my predictions video. I said it. Chelsea's a cup team. That's the most they can reach this season if they do manage to pull it off, and was good, but they didn't, so I was right. I think the problem came down to too many games are drawn against teams that you should be beating to rack up the crucial points. You won 8 home games. Listen, it's a disastrous season. I don't want to look back. Again, Tuchel, we're gonna ask the managers for accountability. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Tuchel apologist. This is a Tuchel stan account. So don't expect me to be here and bash him and bring him down and say he should be fired, because that's what I'm gonna say. I love him and I appreciate the work he's done, but that doesn't take away from the criticisms I have of him, because a lot of this season can be put on his shoulders, and he has to take accountability for it. So I do think going into next season, he has a lot of work cut out for him. He has to make better decisions. One, he has to be vocal about the things that are wrong and not just sugarcoat it. And we may see, will Chelsea challenge for the title? I don't think so. Good luck with that. Moving right along to Tottenham Hotspurs. Now, the big thing, I have this in bold right in here. Antonio Conte. The coach that you are. Because the quick turnaround that we've seen from Tottenham doesn't just happen overnight. Yes, it happened overnight, but with the trust, a good board director of football saw this vision through. They sat down, went with his ideas, went with his vision, trusted him, and it saw them in the top four. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but him coming in January changed the trajectory of Tottenham. Him, leaving, shift and changes. His goals and assists helped the team. And it's a team sport, but him individually as a player propelled the level of which Tottenham went. Sonny, love him so much. Congrats on his golden boot, which he tied with Salah. He had an amazing season. You cannot score 23 goals without penalties and not win the golden boot. I'm sorry, that's just amazing. Round of applause for Sonny. Kane also had a fairly rough season with the whole Manchester City saga. Him coming back late for Tottenham, and then he was out of it for half the season, and to still put up those incredible numbers. So those are the things that Tottenham to this very moment. My thing though, this is me being a negative Nancy. Now that they're in the Champions League, good. Now that they've reached top four, good, great. Round of applause. What's the progression going to be like? Because we know Antonio Conte's track record in the Champions League. It's not been good. It's not been the most inspiring for a manager. So that's an issue we're gonna have next season. We're gonna see how well he can. How has he improved as a manager in Europe, and what's his plan going forward? As top four, will they contest for the third spot? Will they try to? Because rumors are that Daniel Levy has promised Antonio Conte 6 signings, and we know what Conte is under a rebuild. We know what he's like with his signings. He can win a league title. Are we gonna see Spurs pull it off? Not holding my breath on that one, because it's still Spurs at the end of the day. But I'm so excited to see where Antonio Conte goes with this team and what his plan gonna look like for the next season, in a full season on his own there. So yeah. On to the darlings, not the media or the country's darlings, I just think they're the darlings. Arsenal, some would say the season was disappointing, but I would say it's all they could achieve. It's all that was in their realm to achieve. I think a lot was put on them this season to get top four, get Champions League football, win a trophy, do all these things. When you take into the fact that still a young team, Arteta still hasn't improved, that's fair debate. And with gave him a contract too soon. I know you want your future to be in words keep running from me. You want the future to be secured, and you want to ensure that you trust your manager. But when a manager finishes back-to-back seasons 8th place, no Champions League football, no trophies, it's a bit tricky to trust him then. And it's still a failure. Again, I'm not going to celebrate going to the Europa League, because not a trophy. It's not improvement. Yes, it's 3 places up, but it's still not enough, because Champions League was the pinnacle of your success. It's nice that he has trusted the youth. It's nice that he has, built this vision for his team. I think a lot of things have happened behind the scenes where you say, oh, he's a bad boss and he can't get along with the players. We may never know what the true story is, but for those who are still here, they've managed to get along well with him. But you're gonna need experience if you want to chat. Because when you look at them against Man City, Liverpool, Newcastle, Everton in the first game of the season, they were children playing amongst men. You could literally see the lack of experience getting to them. You could see the inability to physically match these teams getting to them, and it cost them so much in the season. So going forward, I think if there's going to be improvements this season, you get an experienced defender, an experienced midfielder, a striker. And as I said, there's positive things I have to say. Saka had a good season. He looked the words keep running from me. He looked inspiring, and now you see why I get so it started I'm ahead of other young winners that you'd want to contest. Saka is good. Let's not do that. Odegaard has his moments. He's a magic midfielder. He does his thing. Emile Smith-Rowe as well has his moments where he pulls off magic. Nketiah coming through, Chelsea granted him a very great season for goals and assists, but it's still not enough. But yeah, it's a bad season, but I'm not celebrating failure again. Some changes are needed in order to challenge, and then we can say, yes, I think next season champions in football should be the helm of what we are. United, wow, this is very dark. I have no positive things to say here. Again, another failure, and I think every season people do this thing where, it's Manchester United's worst finish of a season in the last, we've been saying this for 5 seasons now. This season was horrible. Everything bad that could have went happened this season. It was just not. Because it ended bad, there don't need to be any revision of what happened. Ole leaving was a good thing. It may be the thing that propels United into a different caliber. However, Ralf as the interim coach was a horrible decision. I think they could have let Ole saw the season through and then at the end dismiss him quietly, or even Carrick. Carrick could have held the reins so far, and then we say goodbye. Because Ralf has not proven himself as a manager, so to give him the trust of Manchester United was a lot. I think, however, as a director of football or a consultant or what the case may be, we might see him work his magic there. No impact. I think you can argue that Cristiano Ronaldo had a fairly okay season. He tried his best, but it wasn't enough. Sancho, slow start again. Varane, awful. So we don't know how they fit into next season. But one thing though, I have it in bold here. Ending the season with a 0 goal difference. I literally have no words because the defense was a mess. The team it's a lot. They're playing Europa League again. Okay. Let's not even say. Those who underachieved for me, West Ham losing out on that European spot, slipping in Europe, in the Europa League. Disappointing. Not gonna celebrate failure. They failed to. They used Jack Grealish money wisely and got these good players. They failed to capitalize on that. 1. 2, Steven Gerrard may be the reason why you guys are not gonna move forward. I don't know. Don't count on me. I wrote again. I'm writing things in big and descriptive. Leicester needs to fire Brendan Rodgers if they want to move forward as a team. A team as Leicester with that talent they hold should not be at that position at the end of the season. Fire Brendan. Need to expound. Fire Brendan. Southampton, awful. I think every season we want them to do this. We want them to be better than they are. And they just never deliver. And it's like, wasting my time. Overachieve and I do think I'll celebrate them even though they didn't actually achieve anything. Newcastle. The takeover. We're gonna see it we're gonna see the takeover take its course in some time. Not now. Give it its time. And I love the fact that they trusted Eddie Howe with the project for the remainder of the season. I don't know how next season's gonna look. I don't know what the plans are going to be, but the fact that they trusted him and he took the job and he went to it and he just had this magical season going up and being at the top of their football and being amazing. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Is the only Bruno we're going to talk about in the league. He is the best Bruno. Amazing player. Again, the January signings this season really and truly helped their team. Bruno is just fantastic. Newcastle 2 to 3 seasons, I do think they're coming for the top 6 spots. I do think they can make it work with the right planning and everything. Yeah, Crystal had a fairly good. Crystal Palace is what we wanted Southampton to be, with the youth that they have in their team, with the inexperience, and still being able to challenge the big boys, still being able to grab a point, still being able to put on good performances. That is Crystal Palace. Patrick Vieira, you are a great player, great coach. Not many can say that. Relegation battle was so much more interesting and exciting and fun than the league title. Everton having to fight for it at the depth. I do think appointing Frank Lampard is going to be the problem for Everton. I get that he came in late and there couldn't be much he could do, but in a team like that, you need a solid coach who can really carry the team to new levels and show improvements. Don't know if Frank's going to be able to do that. Norwich gone. I celebrated, put my hands to the sky and praise. When I looked at those who are promoted from the championship, as a Chelsea fan, that is horrifying. That is horrifying for me. But yeah, Leeds getting it done. I had them to be relegated, but you know they have players who are able to fight for it at the end, and that's just so poetic, and it was just so amazing to see. And you can feel what the fans felt in, you know, seeing a team almost out of it and to come back, and wow, it's just amazing. So yeah, I had fun, not as a Chelsea fan, as a neutral, because it was great seeing all this great football being played. I do think the stakes of every team has been raised higher. However, the same thing is going to happen next season. Like, let's not kid ourselves. So yeah, when the new season begins, I'll come back out with another predictions video to tell you guys how I see it all going. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you in my next video.